Captain Caveman!
Hey! Hey everybody, it's my turn to teach again. This lesson was even more hastily put together than the last one, so
I take lots of time to prep my lessons.
okay, sure. But hopefully it doesn't turn out too bad, so bear with me.
May the 4th be with you.
If you're like me, then you probably don't like getting hit. And that's probably a strange thing to say to start off a Thai lesson, but normally when you first start out, you're usually taught the normal blocks, like the shield block right here, block to block, jab and cross, and you're taught the check to block kicks. But again, if you're like me and not like him, then you probably don't really enjoy getting hit even with these shields. So what we're going to start off today's lesson with is defense. So the whole purpose of this is to be able to avoid instead of, just taking it, but less. So we're going to start off with slips. The basic motion for slips is just getting out of the way. To preface this, just a couple things people normally see when they're teaching this. A lot of people really exaggerate the slip, so they'll be like, and you don't need to do that. You don't need to really bend your back. You're just getting away from the punch. So the smallest amount of movement possible is probably the best movement to be using when you're doing this. Just that. When you're slipping, make sure that your shoulder's high so you don't get hit, and make sure your hands are up so you can't get hit with a follow-up. So if you're at home, just practice slips a couple times. You're gonna pivot your front foot. You're gonna get your head out of the way. You're gonna keep your shoulder up, and that'll prevent you from getting hit, just getting streaked like that.
So like this?
No.
Oh. Like, I'll do it again.
You gotta keep your hands up. Well, get in your fighting stance first. Hands up, not on your tippy toes if you're me, but yeah. And then you're gonna pivot your front foot and you're gonna move out the way a little bit. Keep your shoulder up high so you don't get hit. So it's just that. At home, if you're struggling with this at home, you can do a thing that is a little more fun to kind of practice the movement. It's just doing this. It's kind of like a dance. You're gonna like.
Forrest steal my teaching techniques.
You're
Everything
gonna
ties
extend your
like
arm
dance.
out and you're just gonna snap. So that'll get you to practice the movement, and then once you've had your fun, you can go back to the drill, and you're just gonna slip, and then you're gonna slip the other way. That's all. So do that for about a minute or two, kind of get your body used to it, and we'll move on.
I like to snap.
All right. So you good?
I'm good. I'm doing a slip. I told me to do a slip. Practice for a minute.
I was telling them to practice.
Oh, all right.
The next up is hooks. This is not going to protect you from a hook, and we're going to go over that later. So obviously you don't want to get hit with.
We did go over answering the phone in another video.
Yeah. Answering the phone though, it's still going to hurt. Usually when people hook, they really wind up and they really try and hit you. Especially in boxing, a hook is like the knockout punch. It's kind of, whenever you see fighting, most people connect the hook with a knockout. So, of course, you're not going to want to get hit with a knockout punch. So, we're going to go back to not getting hit. So for this drill, you may have seen this.
He's a smart one.
So for this drill, we're just going to duck under it. Again, that's not right. And we're going to go over why that's not right real quick. So again, we're going to preface this with things that, teachers will usually see that's wrong, or coaches will see that's normally wrong. And yeah, that's wrong. What most kids do is they'll do this, or they'll really get into it and they'll do this. It's the same thing with the slip. When you roll, you don't want to take a huge movement. You want to do a little movement, because when you do as little movement as possible, it allows you to transition from avoiding the hit to hitting back. If you're doing this, you're not really in a position to hit back. So as little movement as possible sets you up to either block the next move, send your own move back, or dodge another move. So the hook should look like this. Not the hook, the roll should look like this. When you roll, keep your back straight and keep your head up. Whenever we're fighting, we always want to keep our eyes on our opponent. You should be keeping your eye on their center line. So when you roll, you should be doing that. Keeping your back straight, keeping your head forward, keeping your eyes on your opponent, and just slip. At home, you can practice this for about a minute, get your body used to it, just like the slips. If you're struggling with it, there's another dance. This one is more for the parents. It's just,
Raise the roof.
yeah. So.
Did you forget the name?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just seeing what you were doing.
Oh, I was going to do raise the roof. I'm excited. I like to do the dance.
So if you want to do the dance,
It's my favorite class.
if you want to do the dance, it's just this.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
More
Raise the
snapping
roof.
for you.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof.
Alright.
Don't jump like I am though. Just having too much fun. Should really be like raise the roof.
Yeah. So once you've had your fun, just go back to the drill. Make sure you're doing it right. One more thing, always keep your hands up whenever you're doing this. I mentioned it with the slips, but same thing with the roll. You might even want to keep your hands up a little bit higher, because what happens a lot is when I'm with my partner, he slips a little too high and I graze him. And you don't want to get grazed because one, you're going to be confused, like, why did I get hit? I rolled that. I shouldn't have gotten hit. And two, if they're really coming at you and you slip even higher than that, you're still going to get clocked a little bit with your hands down. And you might even put them in a better position and they're going to hit your temple. And then you're going to be really dizzy. So make sure you keep your hands up high when you do this. You don't really want to get grazed or still get hit. So that's roll. Don't get hit by hooks.
You can do it with the helicopter drill just like we did earlier. If you don't know, go back and watch the old tapes.
Also, if you want to learn it from a movie, because it's like if you're a visual learner or something, this is just an excuse for me to talk about Rocky. They do this in Rocky when he's in Russia in Rocky 4, so go watch Rocky.
Yeah! Can never get steered wrong watching Rocky.
Alright, so the last thing we're going to do, which is defense without getting hit, which is what I named it on my paper, is hollow out. So round kicks are another thing that really hurt, even when you check them, especially if the person kicking you has shins like, has shins like rocks. You're probably going to want to get out the way and not check it, because if you're
4-second knockout kick.
If you're ever planning on
tagged in there, check out an eye. 4-second knockout. Do it.
If you're ever planning on actually fighting in a cage or in the ring, you are not always going to have shin pads. In fact, you're rarely going to have shin pads if you're going to fight like as a sport. So you don't really want to take those kicks, right? So if somebody's really committing to a round kick, what you can do is just hollow out. This one's really simple. There's not too much technique to it. You're just going to jump out the way. If they have really long legs, just jump out the way farther. The reason why you would do this, though, is to make sure you don't get hit if it's like a head kick, or if they're really fast and they're going to hit you again. You want to make sure your hands are always up. Like we talked about in the self-defense video, that was the jiu-jitsu video. In any situation, in any fight, whether it be on the street or in a controlled environment, you always want to have your hands up. You never want to have your hands down, because then your face is open. So even when you're hollowing out, just jumping out the way, keep your hands up.
Can I add one thing there, Coach Forrest?
What's that?
Couple things. When you're hollowing out, number one, your hand should be at a high angle. You don't want him at this angle, because if he kicks to the body and you hit your elbow, it's going to do a lot of damage to your elbow. So when we hollow out, we're getting our hands up. We're also shooting our butt back so it misses our body. That's hollow out, and then we get right back into our stance, just like Forrest was doing. But it's really important we don't have our hands on our shoulder level, because if the kick is coming here and it hits my elbow, it can break my arm. All you gotta do is look at Sean Superfly Felton's fight. He broke a guy's arm. Guy tried to hollow out, Felton kicked him in the arm, broke his arm. That was the end of the fight. Don't want that to happen to you guys.
Yeah. So again, keep your hands up, and in this situation, keep your hands up as high as you can.
Correct.
For this one, there's no real drill or dance, which is a little unfortunate.
Sure, you can go.
Well, that's just.
So shoot your butt out. Butt out. Get the big booty out. Big booty out. big booty out.
If you want to drill this one, you're probably gonna need a partner. So if I'm with my partner, I'm just gonna kick and he's gonna hollow out, and that'll be the drill. Don't be a jerk and like stick out your legs so you kick them.
You almost pulled me through the window, sir.
Just when you're drilling, make sure you're just throwing a normal kick, because that's gonna simulate a normal kick. Also, don't kick like me and be lazy. Make sure when you kick, you gotta kick like that.
That's my boy. Proud of you.
Alright, so that's the end of defense without getting hit, because you don't like getting hit, and you're like me, and you don't want to get hit because it hurts, and you don't like to get hurt.
You know what I try to do? When they shin up guard, I just try to kick them in their shin as hard as I can until they quit.
So, yeah, to avoid things like that, make sure you hollow out. Alright, so we're back.
We didn't go anywhere.
We didn't go anywhere, but we did check up on a couple things, make sure I'm not teaching anything wrong or anything. And
He's not. He's the best.
yeah, it turns out I'm not. So this part of the lesson is feinting. For the guys that do just do this or do this, bringing up their defense opens you up to a whole world of just being able to hit them for free. You're not going to be able to feint the same way or just feint over and over again, because they're going to be like, oh, he's just feinting. But feints are really important, and they open you up to a lot of possibilities. So we're going to start out just feinting our jab. Feinting our jab is pretty much throwing a jab, but not all the way. Usually your opponent will be looking at your center line, making sure your shoulders and your hips aren't doing any actions that'll, warrant them to go for a defense. So when you jab, you want to exaggerate your shoulder motion. So you're just throwing a jab, but you really want to explode with your shoulder, so it really looks like you're going to jab. Usually when you jab, your shoulder comes forward, so you want to exaggerate that motion so they can really see that you are about to jab, but you're not actually going to jab. So you're going to jab about halfway and exaggerate that shoulder motion. It's going to look like this. Alright. You can get really exaggerated with it, but the more exaggerated you get with it, the easier it is to realize that the easier it is for your opponent to realize you're just feinting. That feint is pretty simple. Feints can get very complicated, but its purpose in today's video doesn't really need anything super complicated. You're just kind of throwing a halfway jab.
Can I add 2 things to your feint lesson?
What's that?
Number 1, don't do this. When you're feinting, it's not WWE, don't stomp your feet. I cannot tell you how many kids I see stomp their feet when they throw a fake jab. Don't do that. Should look just like a regular jab.
Right.
That's 1. Number 2, when I fake a jab, a real inside tip, a lot of people when they jab, they've been trained to put their hand up. So when I fake my jab, I put my hand up too. A lot of people don't do that. When they throw the real jab, it looks like this. When they throw their fake jab, it looks like this. You can see the difference in the right hand as well. So make sure when you're faking your jab, you do everything you normally do during a regular jab as well.
Right. The purpose of feints is to disguise what you're doing. So just like camouflage or any other disguise, the more realistic you make it look, the better your fake is going to be, the harder it's going to be to find you. So try and make it look as real as possible. You can't just, do that, because your normal jab doesn't look like that, or at least I hope it doesn't look like that.
If you're watching our tapes, it shouldn't look like that.
So don't just do that. And also, don't do this, because obviously your normal jab does not look like that.
Unless you're not out west.
Well, I didn't say that. Alright, so...
Not now west, put a hole in the floor, he does that. Just kidding now. You're not fat.
Alright, so the next feint we're going to do is a kick feint.
Sorry now.
So the next feint we're going to do is a kick feint. Kick feints are equally as good, if not better, because kick feints can really drop and exaggerate the defense. If somebody's going to check really well, they're going to make sure their elbow is hitting their knee, and they're going to put their hand out. That leaves this leg wide open, a lot of things on their body wide open. So making sure your leg kick feint is good is a good thing. For today's video, we're going to be doing an inside leg kick feint. A normal inside leg kick just looks like that. Or not that. Looks like that. You're going to kick him in the thigh. Make sure if you're trying to just feel this normally, that you don't kick your parent in the privates. Boy or girl, don't kick them in the crotch. It hurts either way.
Don't crunch the cookies.
Yeah, so make sure the inside leg kick just looks
Forrest
like
doesn't
that.
have a good track record with this technique.
The other inside leg kick is the one where you scoop the calf. If they're ready for it, you scoop the calf.
It worked really good. The first one where I almost went down, that's the reaction you're going to get in a fight. You're just going to get that little bit like that. That's when you crack them. So that was a really good one. I wasn't ready for that one.
Right.
Good job.
So those are the two inside leg kicks you're normally going to do. So kick feints are just like jab feints. You want to basically just kick, but you're not going to release your leg. Unlike the jab, you're not actually going to release the body part. You're just going to feint your shoulder and your hips. A lot of this has to do with opening up your hip. When you kick this motion like that, that's opening up your hip. So you're just going to feint that. When you do release your kick, when you feint like that, you're off balance. You're going to be off balance, and you're going to be the one that's open, not your opponent. So for this feint, we're just going to open up our hips. We're going to drill that. So we're just going to open up our hips. So if you see us moving our shoulders, that's because your shoulder also moves when you kick, if you didn't realize. So you're gonna fake. So when you fake, you're faking your shoulder and your hip. So make sure when you're feinting, you're not just doing that and not moving your shoulder, because this one looks weird, feels awkward, and two, it's not gonna be a good feint. So just that. All right. So my feints probably look bad. I haven't feinted in a while. I'm sorry. But feints are really important.
I fainted.
Feints are really important. They draw up your opponent's guard, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to land some combos off that. Alright, we didn't go anywhere, but we're back. This part of the lesson is actually using the feint. We just did the jab feint and the leg kick feint. So the first combo, I'm gonna feint a jab, and then I'm gonna go for a leg kick, because if I do this in an actual fight, when I feint, he's gonna come up with the shield, and now his leg is wide open. He's not blocking this part, so I can just wham him with a leg kick. And that's gonna be the whole point of the combo. And now he's gonna be worried about his leg, but we're gonna go after that later. So, start out, we're just gonna feint. So the combo is feint, leg kick, come down, hook, cross. The hook cross is not just to make this a combo instead of just feint to leg kick. The hook cross is also to expose his weaknesses again, which sounds really wrong, but
it's tough to teach. These words come out hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to remember when the camera's on and the lights are all on you. No pressure.
So what's gonna happen is when you feint, his hands are gonna come up. Now I'm gonna leg kick him, and now he's gonna be like, oh shoot, I better protect my legs, because I did not like that, really hard leg kick, because it hurt and I didn't hollow out like I should. So now he's gonna be worried about his legs. He's not gonna have his guard up anymore, and that leaves him wide open for this hook cross. So we're gonna be going high, low, high, and that's a really important concept to grasp. High, low, high is a really important concept to grasp, because when you're fighting, you can't always just go for a big punch to the head or a big leg kick to knock over your opponent, because your opponent's going to catch on. They're going to realize you're just punching them, or they're going to realize you're just kicking them, and they're probably going to know the defense, and you need to know what to do to make sure your opponent doesn't know where the next hit is coming. So that's why high, low, high is important. Getting your opponent's guard up will always leave them open. There's no technique that's a shield or a guard that'll make sure that no part of your body can get hit. So a lot of kickboxing and Muay Thai is finding the weak point of their defense. So when I Captain America shield, my legs are open, my body's open. So if I'm the person hitting, then I'm gonna want to hit their body or their leg, and that's why high, low, high is important. So I'm gonna feint the jab, leg kick, come down, hook, cross. So now you're gonna drill it. All right. So now that you have your pads or your pillows, depending on your situation, let's get to it. So it's feint. It's feint.
That was a feint.
That was a feint.
Yeah, I had a sound effect, so it looks scary.
Okay.
That's the other thing I like to do about feints.
All right. Ah! So it's gonna be feint, leg kick, hook, cross.
Ah! Way! Ah! Ah!
There you go. So at home, you're gonna drill it more than us, but we're gonna just drill it a few times to make sure you've got it. Alright, so now that we've drilled it, and hopefully you've drilled it a little bit more than us at home, because like I had the whole spiel about last time, you should be drilling more than us when you're at home. The next combo is going to be about the whole leg feint. Leg kick feint, not leg feint. The leg kick feint, if you don't remember, you're going to feint your shoulder and your hip, and you're just going to open up your hips like that. And that's probably going to make him worried about his inside leg. So now, I'm wide open, or I'm not wide open, he's wide open for a huge body kick. I keep saying huge when I'm about to land these things, but if you've ever seen a fight or you're ever going to be in a fight, these will be huge for you, because they're not nice to be hit by. Body kicks suck. So for this combo, if you want to put pads on real quick. All right, now that you have pads on, all the combo is I'm gonna feint, he's gonna step back, and I'm gonna hit around kick. If you're a parent, maybe do a couple stretches, because even I'm feeling a little bit of difficulty doing this. So make sure at home, if you're not super confident about it, that you're being safe.
I'm 42, I feel great. Hey!
Alright. Now, the student's going to drill it, because both people should know it. Alright, so now I've got the pads on, and we're just going to drill it a couple times. I'm not going to say the whole spiel again, but drill more at home, please. If your partner doesn't have the best of reflexes, then you might need to slow it down for them. But hopefully I'll get used to it and I don't look stupid because I have slow reflexes. You will continue to drill that at home, hopefully. These are not easy combos to get. I'm gonna go into my coach's spiel a little bit. These are not easy combos to get. These are gonna take a lot of practice. I'm not gonna tell you to practice once a week, because there are gonna be a lot of people who don't have that amount of dedication to this. But to really learn this, you've got to practice it a lot. So if Muay Thai class ever comes around and you really like these techniques, or you think you're ready for these techniques and you want to learn them, then drill them a little bit either before you watch the next video, or after you watch the next video. Because just doing them now is definitely not going to set you up.
Train every day. Don't be lazy. Get up and train.
It's not going to set you up for success when you try these. That being said, you're not going to be able to do this over and over again if you don't have good cardio. So we're going to get into the cardio part.
Oh, that was a good setup. That was a good lead-in. I like it.
All right, so it's cardio time. It's cardio time. So for today's cardio, we're going to be doing something that we haven't introduced yet in the videos, but something that we do a lot at the gym, and something that's really popular for kickboxing cardio specifically, and that's pyramids. So the premise of a pyramid is just you're going to kick once, and you're going to put your foot down. You're going to do a double kick, and then you're going to put your foot down, and you're going to go to whatever number your coach tells you to and come back down. But today we're going to introduce a little bit of extra work into it. It's not going to be hard for him because he's got lots of energy today. Probably had one too many rock stars.
Only six. Easy
but,
day.
But for parents at home, for some parents at home, and for some kids, most kids probably, it's not going to be super easy. So what we're going to do today is it's just going to be a normal pyramid, but for every kick we do, we're going to squat. So it's just going to be one kick, and then one squat, or you're going to squat, and then you're going to do two kicks, and then you're going to do two squats. We're going to go up to 5 and then go back down, which actually isn't too difficult compared to what we normally do what we normally do in kids class, and especially not even close to what we do at Integrity. If you want to do something more difficult without a time limit, then just up the number of kicks and squats, because if you go up to 10, that's a lot of squats. Just think about it. You go from 1 to 3 to 6 and up and up and up. It grows exponentially, not the other way. So let's just get to it.
Right and left?
Depending on how much you believe in yourself. So we'll do right and left because he's got lots of energy. I'm not tired.
One. Oops. Four. 5.
Alright, so if you're a normal person, you're probably going to take a break there. So we'll take a break real quick, just for me to get out something important. I'm not really going to goof around when I say this because my arm hurts. When you're doing this, make sure you've got the count right. Either the hitter should count or the holder should count.
The holder should count. The hitter's busy. Make sure when you're kicking, you want to make noise.
Yeah.
I want you guys to make noise.
But hopefully you don't make it so loud that you end up kicking your partner in the arm by accident.
Tori.
So now we're going to go to the left side. If it looks bad, then it's fine. This is just cardio, so don't worry about how you look when you do it.
Thank you, man. That was awesome. I feel great.
Good. You probably won't feel as great as him. So make sure you're drinking water if you're doing this. For some reason, I've been hearing and reading some scary medical stories. So drink water. That's all I'm trying to say. Drink water and take breaks if you need. Never feel the need to be like him if you're just beginning, because you're not gonna be like him when you're first starting.
Oh, that's nice of you said.
So when you're doing this, make sure to take breaks. It's been something I've been stressing a lot in the 2 videos that I've done, but knowing that we have little kids doing these and parents doing these, safety is really important, especially when you're doing these at home. For some kids and for some parents, it's really hard to work with each other, and hitting each other does not make that better. So being safe and making sure nobody gets hurt, make sure that things don't get heated or anything, and it's never good when it gets heated between a kid and parent. So make sure you're staying safe, and also it's not the best time to be in the hospital or have to go to the doctor's office. So make sure you're being safe. You don't want to pull a hammy or you don't want to pull your hamstring if you want to be all technical about it. You don't want to pull your hamstring. You don't want to do something stupid and then be out of commission for a little while, because it's just really annoying. My ankle was super annoying, and I've been not able to train before, so I know from experience not being able to do anything is annoying.
Injuries are never fun.
Yeah, and they hurt. So make sure you're staying safe.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Let's give it up for Forrest. I'm the only one clapping, but he's doing an awesome job. Man, I love him. He's doing so well. It's really hard to talk when that bright light is on you and my little camera phone's facing us and we look at ourselves, and it's tough. It's really hard to speak correctly when you have all the pressure. And Forrest is still doing all his homework all day long. He had the time to put this lesson together. I teased him a little bit in the beginning, but I'm really, really proud of everything he's doing. And it makes me so happy that he can hold pads for me and I can hold pads for him. Dude, I love this kid. We're going to work some more on our own. Go!
Since I'm still YouTube guy, I would still remind you that there is a shill, and the shill isn't coming. If you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. If you like me teaching, then getting me out there for other people to see is probably something that you would want to do. So hitting like and subscribe will help you do that and help us get out there. We have a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers. So the more people subscribe, the closer we get to our goal, and the more people that subscribe, the more people that will be able to subscribe and get us to our goal.
We're doing awesome too. Someone else subscribed. You got a lot of numbers in your name. There's T Tank something 8922995 whatever. Some weird YouTube name. But thank you for subscribing.
And you probably know who you are.